I'm an expert because I watched a Netflix special and then a YouTube video. Voiced and created by PJ Corona, December 2019. I love to argue and debate. It's a family trait. My family is half Italian, a quarter Irish, and a quarter German. So, arguing and debate is part of a family meal. I think all of us have imaginary debates and arguments every day. I have at least 20. And at the end of these imaginary conversations and debates, I'm the winner and you're the loser. I strut around with my head high and my hands over my head like Rocky on the steps in Philadelphia. I think it's pretty common that our egos get the best of us every single day. It's part of being human. Being human, hopefully, if we get to a point in our life where we recognize what stupid idiots we are, we can laugh at ourselves first and then at everyone else. This audiobook is about that and about how funny I find myself, my friends, my family, and the rest of humanity. Enjoy. Chapter 1: The Vasquez Nerve and Nikki. One day, I was browsing YouTube and came across a video about the Vasquez nerve. The Vasquez nerve is what I'm using right now to talk. And evolutionary scientists are in a debate on whether or not the human, or I should say the genome we call human, has evolved efficiently. To give you a little background, I really like science. And science isn't the end-all be-all of everything. It's very, very human and very, very fragile. And all the people who are scientists are human and have egos. So science doesn't know everything. I think currently we think we know 4% of what could be known. How we ever came to that conclusion, I'll never know. Since the universe is infinite, and the only reason I know that the universe is infinite because we have a word named infinite, right? And we take that for granted because a scientist or someone who looks smart in a white trench coat said so. But I digress. This video basically stated that the nerve didn't have to go through the body the way that it does. And that because it did this, it proves that basically intelligent design or effectiveness or whatever you want to call it doesn't work. And that the body is, or the way we've evolved, is inefficient. To give you a little more background, when we look at what we know about aerodynamics and birds are not functionally perfect when it comes to what we consider aerodynamics. We currently think that birds actually evolved from dinosaurs, and feathers came that way, and then flight, and on and on and on. I don't know if any of that's true. I find it interesting when I'm not working or doing other things that I find interesting. So I don't think we know a hell of a lot. I honestly think that we're just fumbling along on this little ball through the universe, making shit up as we go along. And I find that hilarious. So as I was watching this video on the Vasquez nerve, my ego got the best of me, as it does every day. I hope you're laughing, because your ego does too. All the time. You only notice this when you're older. Probably when you're in your 30s is when I finally found out, boy, I'm really an idiot. And a stupid idiot at that. My mother's been calling me a stupid idiot my entire life. Not because she was being derogatory, but because she knew she's a stupid idiot too. And so are all my friends and family. We all get the joke. We're human. So, I made one big mistake that day, and I started talking shit to my cousin, Nikki. Now, Nikki, I'll give you a little picture of her. She's about 5'0" nothing, skinny, and a bulldozer of a person. She is very, very smart, and I enjoy talking to her, and she enjoys talking to me. mostly because we're family, idiots, and I think also we really listen to each other, which is a rare thing. Anyways, as we were having this conversation, uh, of many of our conversations, I started talking about all the things I thought I knew about science and this vasgus nerve, and how it worked, and how evolution was not that great, and that it could be better. And then I started in on the birds and how they're not effective in flying and all this other stuff. Well, Nikki is an expert in health. She's actually a holistic rolfer, which is basically a combination of chiropractic and massage where you untwist the body. And she's also an expert in cooking, in herbs. I really, really enjoy how smart she is. And she's a sailor. We just get along. She's my cousin. I've known her whole life. So she knows my bullshit real quick, and I know hers. So as I'm talking about this vasgus nerve, she calls me out because she knows the vasgus nerve. She knows all the muscles in the body and all the bones and all the names for all the bones and how the body works really well. Now, I would tell you that I know my own body. And from practicing yoga and Brazilian Jiu Jitsu and working out, I think I know a lot of stuff. But she knows more. She's actually fixing people's bodies every day. She really understands health and nutrition. So I picked an argument with the wrong fucking person. Because she decided to tell me exactly what the heck was going on. And I listened because that's what you do when you have a friend that, that you love. So immediately after about 5 minutes of her questioning me, and when I mean questioning me, I mean interrogation with bright lights, pounding me mentally, verbally. She does this, and she's quite good at it. Sometimes too good. I think she might have a reputation for being a little angry, but she's not. It's just the way she talks. It's very Italian. She's moving her hands and, you know, pointing her finger, and I'm doing the same thing, and I'm getting defensive real quick because I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I literally just watched a YouTube video and then thought that I knew what the fuck I was talking about, but I didn't. So she went ahead and educated me on the vasgus nerve. And I'd love to repeat what she said, but honestly, my ego was so fragile that I just tapped out. And it was really, really funny because I immediately knew at that moment how stupid I was, and then immediately knew how stupid all of us are because we have access to the internet. And just because it's YouTube or Netflix or whatever it is, it doesn't matter. We have this body of knowledge out there that we think is the truth or factual or whatever else it is, and it's not. Look, folks, the world is full of bullshit, and most of it is bullshit. If you're lucky enough to have friends that call you out on your shit, on your tiny little ego that is so fragile, and you can take it, and you can tap out, and you can go ahead and say, you know what? I'm a moron. I didn't know what the hell I was talking about. Thanks for calling me out, and then laugh your balls off. I think that's great. If you can't do that, what happens is your ego puffs up and you start an argument with that person. And if that person is just as dumb as you and doesn't have a background and isn't an expert in that area, you're going to have a long, long debate between two morons. Now, if one of those people is actually an expert in that field, well, your ego is going to get crushed, just like Rocky in the first Rocky movie. I find that funny because it happens to our egos all day long, and we don't realize it, and we get butthurt, and then we cry, and then we have friends that don't call us on our crap. We really have a miserable day. So after I got tooled by Nikki, and we laughed pretty hard, because I'm at a point in my life, I'm almost 50, where I really know myself and I know the quirks that I have, and I laugh about them all the time, and I'm pretty straightforward and honest about them most of the time. And when my ego gets the best of me, I do the best to trash my ego, scold myself, and then laugh. And I think laughter is the best medicine and something we need to do every day. If you're taking yourself too seriously, well, you're going to have a miserable fucking day. So, Nikki did a great job. We laughed. We still laugh about it, but it's really why I'm writing this book, is to share my experience with all the arguments that I have with people, and how society, which I hate that word, society. What is society? A bunch of people that think they know shit? Come on. It's really, really funny. Look, look at the scientific community. And I'm not bagging on science because I love science. I'm an amateur astronomer. I love math. I love the ocean. Um, really. But science's ego is the biggest of all of them. We really don't know what we don't know, and we're making it up as we go along. I hate to tell you that math is made up. To say that it's actual and real is hilarious. It's a human concept. Let me say that again, it's a human concept. Science is a human concept. And modern science, if I've got my facts right, and I'll have to go back and look at a YouTube video, I think is only about 400 years old. Copernicus, maybe? He started it? Something like that. Maybe you go back to Socrates, but I think that's philosophy. Anyways, science is very fallible, and we've learned that over and over again. And it's not that I think that scientists are dishonest, or people who like science or math are dishonest. I think they have one problem in common, that they're human, and they want to be liked, and they want to be passionate about what they do, but they make mistakes, and after they make mistakes, their ego gets involved, and ego is the death of us all. And it also causes us all the pain that we see, all the pain that we feel. Anyways, science isn't the end and be all of everything. And the fact that we think it is, and think that this word fact means something. We use this word fact a lot, and truth a lot. Well, folks, I'm a slick salesman. And by a slick salesman, I mean I understand the human animal better than most, I think. And I understand men. I dare say I understand women better than most men. And the only reason I understand people is because I actually listen. And listening is the most powerful tool we have. You can learn how to share, you can learn how to talk, but once you've learned how to listen, it's the golden key. You get everything from someone. Because we all have a favorite subject, and that's ourselves. You get someone talking about themselves, their favorite subject, which is easy to get out of anybody because they want to talk. They want to be liked, right? You want to be liked. Why are you listening to this video? You want to be occupied. Why am I making this video? Because I like to talk, and I like to be liked. That's why I have conversations. That's why you have conversations. That's why scientists have conversations. And again, me and my best friend Zach will go back and forth about science. Peer-reviewed articles. Well, I'll do this with Nikki too, and quite a few of my other friends. Just because something is peer-reviewed doesn't mean it's not wrong. Science is wrong all the time. I think the best example we have is archaeology. I mean, archaeology is changing all the time. What we think of past civilizations is changing all the time. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I know that the pyramids aren't tombs. I know it. That's mostly because I watched a YouTube video and then a next book special, right? You did too. So I find it funny that we use science and facts to boost our egos. And scientists do it all the time. Politicians do it all the time. Don't think I'm letting the religious and spiritual people off the hook either. Look, we all think that we know what God is. We all think we know what Zen is. Bullshit. You don't know a gosh darn thing. Not a thing. You're mumbling along, fumbling along, just like me. So I encourage you just to laugh at yourself first and to know when you're being a stupid idiot. And maybe you can learn that just because you watched a video on the internet doesn't mean you know what the hell the vasgus nerve is. Right? Just asking Nikki, my cousin. She will tell you what the vasgus nerve is and why it works the way it does. Because, like I said, she fixes people every day. She's a better doctor than I've ever met. For years, she's told me about a plant based diet, veganism. Now, all of you know how to spot a vegan. And if you don't, let me tell you. Here's how you know if someone's a vegan. They'll fucking tell you, just like I am now. Except I'm a Jack vegan. Currently, I eat a little bit of fish, and I eat fish oil pills every day. I feel wonderful. I feel the best I have in my whole 48 plus years on this planet. Right? And I did it on a whim. But I digress for the second time in this chapter. It's not about how I feel, or how I eat, or anything like that. I'm just explaining that trying new things instead of just watching a video on the internet is a way to do things. And to have conversations with people who are actually experts is probably the way to do things instead of going to the gosh darn internet, right? So, anyways, I really enjoy talking to people who know their shit. And I happen to know a bunch of people who know their shit. Nikki's one of them. Again, when I have any kind of nutritional question, I ask her. And then I ask another person. And then I ask another person. And then I'm done. Then I start trying things. That's why I tried the plant-based diet. And I never would have before. I would have told you that meat is important, eggs are important, dairy is important. Well, they might be important to you now, but every bit of my body that was swollen or ached is gone. And again, I'm not pushing the plant-based diet. I'm just telling you my experience after believing the bullshit from videos and people who weren't experts in this subject. Right? So, besides Nikki, since we're on the subject of a plant-based diet, I go to my friend Kristen, who's a professional chef. And I found out that the people she works for, who are extremely wealthy, are actually on a plant-based diet. And I couldn't believe it. I honestly couldn't believe it, because being a vegan is not really fun when you first start out, and it's not fun if you don't like to cook. I love to cook, right? But finding out people who could eat anything they want, have all kinds of professional trainers, have a life that's busier than mine is, and are more active than me, and that are vegan, is pretty cool. So she has a different opinion on how to eat in a plant-based diet than Nikki. Their biggest qualm is about soy, right? So they go back and forth in the conversations I have with each of them about soy. Nikki doesn't like it. Kristen doesn't think it's that big of a deal. Who do you listen to? I don't know, right? I get to make that choice. And then I don't bag on either of them. I just make the choice. I'm trying different foods now, trying to cook different things. And again, I'm an expert at how I feel. I'm an expert at me, and you're an expert at you. So if we can all stay in that lane, I think life would be a little bit easier. But again, we won't. We don't. I won't. I'll get out of my lane and get into things that I don't know. And then pretend to be an expert at them. So there's a lot of pretending going on, and you do it too. That's why you're laughing right now, because you're a stupid idiot. So remember that you are fallible, and that you're not your ego, you're not your emotions, you're something else. What the hell that is, I have no idea. But I imagine if we were having a conversation that we'd have a pretty good time. Because A, I'd ask you about your favorite subject, which is you. And I'd be interested. And I'd listen. So, The next time you think you're an expert because you watched a Netflix special and then a YouTube video, remember you're not. And remember that if you ever want to get your shit fucked up about the vasgus nerve, just talk to Nikki. She'll set you straight.